houses, I wanted a gang. I want the whole world to know my name. If I make it out, no, I'm bringing the gang. They my brothers, yeah, they know my pain. We don't share a mind, but I love them the same. Gotta stay humble, now I stay in my lane. Never let the money...
Hey, welcome to Dream Tour, the podcast where we take you on a tour of many different types of people's dreams, goals, and aspirations. So, we have a very special guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Anna. I make mugs, so I guess I'm a ceramic artist, if you want to call it.
Yeah, so you make these beautiful mugs. We were looking at them. Actually, the intro to this video is probably going to be that little shot I took of the mugs before this. But how did you start? Did you do it for fun one time and just love it?
You're hitting me right off the bat. Okay.
Yeah.
So I always did art, growing up. I got into it a lot in high school. I've always been fascinated with ceramics and pottery. My dad actually talked about it growing up. He won I think some award in high school for his sculptures.
Oh wow.
So I've been fascinated with it and always wanted to do it. And I just bit the bullet one day and bought everything. So that's way after high school though. So
that's a big investment though, because isn't the machinery for this is it's
expensive.
It's expensive.
So I actually had my grandpa did those savings bonds. I don't even think they do them anymore.
I'm assuming there's some type of there's still some kind of bonds, but I'm not.
So they invest, collect interest so I think he initially got those for college and stuff, but I never did school. So my mom was like, just spend them on something you might as well that you love. So I cashed those in. That paid for my kiln. I started off with a really small kiln, so it was only I don't know if you know anything about kilns. You have to have a dryer wattage. They're huge. You have to have a whole bunch of rewiring done.
Oh really?
Yes. So they have to. It's 240 volt, which I think is
Wait, so rewiring in your house? You have to. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'll get to that later because that was a whole ordeal. But I lived with my mom, my parents. So I'm okay, I can't really get that done. Plus the electric bill to do that, and my stepdad would throw a fit. So I'm okay, I can't do that. So I found one that literally it's 120 volts. So it's any normal outlet. You can plug in, yeah. But it was really small. It was only I think 9 by 8, so I could only fit 3 in.
Okay.
But I'm okay, I just want to starting out. So I bought that, and then I bought a little tiny, not tiny, but it's a portable wheel. Just starting. I still have it. I want a bigger one, but. Time. But so that's kind of how I started.
How you got into it?
Yeah.
That's super interesting because I know a lot of people who are into art, but more so the people who I know that are artists. I know a couple people who do paintings, a couple people who draw, a couple people who do graphic art. You were the only person I know that does this, and they're so unique. They're really cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So, did you get started into getting this out there? Just social media.
What do you mean?
Did you just start posting them on social media?
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, I wish I could, somehow, you can, show, my beginning stuff, because it's hilarious.
I can pull up your first picture or something.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, send me
so right here, there's going to be a picture, okay? My first stuff. But it's so funny, because it's horrible. Horrible.
At the time, it probably was good, because it was your first,
So I started out, it took, because I didn't take classes or anything. I was okay, I'm just going to teach myself,
That's
just
awesome.
Go for it. Kind of. I cried a lot, threw a lot of clay at the wall, a lot of YouTube videos, but, I did it.
You can't learn anything, nothing teaches you more than failing. Messing up teaches you so much more than going and learning the right way to do it off the bat. Because if you know the perfect way to do it, and you go into it, and you're I know the perfect way to do it, and then you don't have the hang of it, you don't know what to do when you mess up. But if you start by, I know I'm going to mess up, but eventually I'll get the hang of it.
But I didn't, though. Better. That's the funny thing. I thought, okay, I went into it, I was I'm going to, master this in the beginning, but, that's not how it works, So then I learned from that, though. I'm okay, it takes a lot of time. But, yeah, so starting out, so I just started posting on Instagram. In the beginning, I did a lot of, art show kind of things, markets and stuff. And that was kind of how I got like a little bit of income from those, but it in the end like burnt me out, which is kind of I can go into later. I stopped doing it for like a full like year and a half because I got burnt out from it because I wasn't selling anything.
Yeah,
but it wasn't
and you were
good.
you probably had to travel a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and packing it all up.
Yeah, transporting this is probably
yeah.
not easy either.
No. And like your setup too, like those markets are so much work because you have to like set your table up and like the booth look pretty, you know, and it's just like, it's a lot, especially, and you have to pay to do it. So like if you don't make.
There's a lot of competition there too. There's a lot of people making like a craft show type thing. Yeah. Or like a flea market. Like there's a lot of people making stuff there. I bet you like now, I don't know if you still do them or if you're all online now, but I bet you now it'd be way easier for you because, you know, you've done a lot more mugs. You probably have more of a selection at one time than you did back then. And do you still do them now? No?
So now I'm just like online, which is like crazy because that's what I like have wanted for like ever, like just to sell online. That's it, and
that's awesome.
What I'm doing.
2021,
so
it's a cool
exciting.
time. Yeah. So from what I've heard is like your basis is like people all over the country, right? Like it's like people in California, people in
pretty
wherever.
much, yeah. So like my main group is California, it seems like, and I have no idea how that happened. Instagram, I guess, like it just like
and the people who are interested in some custom mugs.
So it's
So do you like make them, post them, and then sell them, or do you ever do like a custom piece for people?
So normally how it is like I'll do like a drop, like a release date. Like I'll announce the date and the exact time. And like I'll do like about like 15 to 20 if I can make enough. And as of right now they're selling out like within like minutes, like that I post them.
Wow.
So which is crazy. So that's kind of how I do it. I don't really do the custom, like it's not like with like people I know. I'll do custom ones, but I don't know, custom ones are a lot of work. Like it's just like finding time to do it is a lot. But I did, and then I just recently got like a wholesale account with a lady that has her own business. She wants like custom mugs for her business.
That's
so like
cool.
I'm doing that. So that'll be about like an extra like 15 a month. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How long does it take to make one mug?
Something like this, like these ones, like
there's a lot
there's a lot.
There's so
of time into
like
it.
I'm gonna pull this one back here, but like they're so intricate. Like every flower has, you know, design on it, and it's just the butterfly. Like that's amazing. Like there's so much detail in these.
Yeah, so it's a lot because I don't know if you even know how like pottery really works.
How do you
like,
even?
so
I know I've seen your TikTok, the one you just
just
put out, and it's super cool to see you shape the mug. But I have no idea how you get these little flowers and butterflies.
So you have
and
to
mushrooms and stuff.
so it's a whole process because you have to make the mug, then you have to let it dry like a little bit, but not completely dry, and then that's when you add like all the details and stuff. So you're adding all the details, but then you can't just like slab like this flower on. Like you have to like do a special you have to like carve into it and put like they call it like slip. So it's just like wet kind of clay, and you have to put it on and then like stick it, and then it's this whole thing. So then after that you have to let it dry for about a week or two, and then you fire it. But you don't fire it to like the complete temperature. Take it out and then you paint it. So you have to these are all individually painted, but also these are like layers. So like you have to do it the way glaze works is you can't just do like one layer, you have to do like 2 to 3 layers. So you let it dry, then you do another layer, and then you put it in the kiln again, and then you fire it all the way, and then it's done.
What about the handle? That looks like I don't think I could do
I
that.
hate making handles. Hate it. It's like the worst part of it. Like
it looks hard.
I actually some of them are really bad. Like I actually don't really like that handle. I think it's like
you don't like
I think it's too big.
That's just that's just like the judgmental eye of yourself though. I wouldn't even think about the size of the handle. I'm just like shocked by the design on it, you know.
Yeah.
That's probably hard though. Like how do you do that?
So the handle you have to people have a whole I don't think I do them the correct standard way. But I just roll it out, and then like have a, what is that cooking
Like
thing
just
called?
yeah.
Whatever
You-
pin, what is it called?
Rolling pin, a rolling pin, a rolling pin, a whatever pin. Yeah, use the whatever pin.
Yeah, I cook all the time. Okay. You use that and like, well, I use it and then like kind of like flatten it out. And then you just like plop it on, and then shave it kind of. So
Yeah, I feel like that'd be difficult. Like
it is.
I don't think I have the type of patience for something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd like to, like, if someone like took me to a class and they were like, let's go to a class and try making a mug, like, I'd make an ugly mug. You know, it wouldn't look great, but I'd do my best and I'd enjoy it but like, trying to make something that looks like, you know, it's even. Like, what? How do you even do that?
Yes. See, I don't even think they're really even, but.
They look pretty even to me. If I were to, I touched some, what is it? Is this clay? Is it, no, what is it?
Clay?
Yeah, it's clay. It is, what is the material?
Clay.
Clay, it is clay. Okay. I've messed with some clay before, and, you know, I made like a map in like 4th grade. And
A map?
Yeah, like that was rough for me. Like making the mountains and like, it was rough for me. I'm not that good with stuff like that. But like, that's so cool. So, when you were like starting up, and like you were learning and you were getting angry and like struggling with it, what helped you keep moving on with that?
I guess just like I was constantly inspired. I still am to just like, I wanted to master it so bad. So I think that's what kept getting me to like improve it, because I think this might sound like, I don't want to say like, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I guess I like know my potential. Like I know my abilities, like, you know, so like I know like I can get to this, you know, so like
And who
seeing
knows where you
that
can go,
exactly,
like.
yeah. So just I guess just being inspired and like not giving up. And kind of like I said, like I did stop doing it for like a year and a half. Like I was just so burnt out. But I also think like that's what I needed too, like the creative break.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like breakthrough, but like I don't know, the stuff before that like year gap to my stuff now is like a complete like huge contrast. So I don't know, I just like getting re-inspired again and just like keep doing it, you know. Does that answer it?
No, that makes sense. So you can say you're
Okay.
like you're passionate about it, and that's important. That's one of the things that's important to me here. And also, like, one pause real quick. Hey, Mariah, can you do me a favor and text Annie and tell her to be quiet?
Yeah.
Thank you. Or Snapchat her or whatever. Yeah, tell her to be quiet. You can hear her through the vents. That's my little sister. She obviously just got
That's
home
your
from
sister?
school. Yeah,
Oh.
she got home from school with her friend or something. I can hear him chatting. But yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the things that's important to us here is, you know, like, the reason I wanted to bring you on is because, like, you obviously like what you do, and it's something that I haven't got to talk to anyone about before, because this is intriguing to me, because, like, why I do this show is, you know, I want to talk to people and learn about things I don't know about. That's kind of my personality.
Yeah.
I like to know about things I don't know about. And this, to me, is just some whole other world I've never experienced. And as long as you have that passion for it, I want to show people that are, you know, more like you out there that, you know, work at it. You can make stuff, make whatever it is, you can make it. So if you had a message to send to someone who was on their first day, making their first piece of art that they want to master, what would you say?
Don't give up. I would just say just keep going. Like find what is like, I don't want to say like looking, kind of what I just explained, like looking ahead but not too far, but just like don't give up, like stay passionate, like always, like the biggest thing that kept me going was just being like always inspired, like
Yeah.
or like just, did that answer?
No, I understand
Just,
that.
like-
Just like the thing is, like, being always inspired is very, very hard, you know. Through my almost 30 weeks of doing this, there's been weeks where I've just been like not inspired as much. There's been weeks where I'm like, I got 4 podcasts this week. I'm going as hard as I can right now. And trying to find the balance and consistency in that, it's a struggle. And I think what I've come to learn so far in my experience in this world of being some type of creative, it's that I think learning how to appreciate balance and learning how to appreciate that, like, you know, I am inspired right now. Let's take advantage of that. Learning that was a hard step, but it's an important step.
Yeah.
It took me some time, but we're getting there, you know?
And also, not being so hard on yourself. Like, that's a huge thing that I have learned. And also, like, the pressure. Like, I would put just, like, unnecessary pressure on myself for, like, you know, like, what? Like, what reason? Like, okay, I'm, like, not mastering this today. Like, okay, I'm not gonna, like, I need to stop, and I still do it, which is bad. But, like not beating myself up over it, you know, like.
Yeah, no.
So, like, the pressure is, like, another thing, I think, like, a key to, like, not.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
not.
I'm actually kind of the opposite. I have to
really
put pressure on myself, because if I'm not putting pressure on myself, I'm not going to do anything, you know?
Interesting, yeah.
I have too little, like, I am a very, like, relaxed, I guess, you know? I'm not, you know, if I'm not really inspired and really like, oh, I have to get this done, or, you know, or else, if I don't have that pressure on my back, I'm not going to perform. You know?
See, I'm the opposite. I, like, crack. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, like, and then I don't do it.
So what I'm hearing from this is you got to get to know yourself a little bit.
Yes, yeah.
Like, to do anything, really. Yeah. So, going off topic here, like, off of the whole pottery thing, you've done some pretty cool things, right? Didn't you go to, like, Mexico?
Yes, so that's also kind of like the whole pottery thing as well. Kind of. So right after high school, I moved to South America, Ecuador. So that was crazy, and terrifying. But I was there for about 6 months, I think. Honestly, kind of had a bad experience. But
I mean, that's so far from home, so young.
Yes, like, but I learned a lot about it. That more was like about, like, I learned a lot about myself. Like, it wasn't so much about doing things, which I thought it was going to be about, but it was more like, it turned out like a personal experience.
Yeah, you learned about.
Because it was really hard, like, emotionally and mentally, it was hard, and lonely. So then I moved home, kind of wallowed around for a little bit, like 6 months, and then I left again. So then I was in Mexico for 3 years. So I taught art down there. So it was an after-school program. It was amazing. But down there, so, like, I was teaching art, and I really, like, art therapy is, like, what I really wanted to do with, like, the kids down there, because there was a lot of, like, there was a lot of abuse down there. The kids were just, like, it wasn't good. So, but I always found, like, I don't know, like art was, like, a really good outlet. So, like, I really always wanted to do, like, pottery with them. Like, I thought it would be, like, an amazing, like, creative outlet, or, like, therapeutic, because it is therapeutic, like, very relaxing. So, I was like, I want to teach them so bad, but, like, I obviously didn't know how to do it. So then I came back home, and then, like, fast forward 3 years later, you know, that's where I was like, okay, I always wanted to do it, like, why not? Like, learn it, so.
And then you were thinking about doing that when you were down there teaching art. So wait, can you speak Spanish?
I used to. I'm losing it now.
You're losing it?
Yes, I've
always wanted to speak Spanish. I did my, like, 3 years in high school, and you know,
they don't teach you right in high school. Like, so I did 3 years in high school, and I knew nothing. Like, going down there.
My teacher, she moved from Peru, and, you know, she would teach us more, like, a lot of, I think she was a very good Spanish teacher, and she really taught us how they talk in Peru. So, like, maybe in Mexico I'd sound weird.
But it's a different Spanish, so that's, like, another thing. So, like, in Ecuador, like,
they speak different than
like, the slang is totally different. So, like, and even, like, okay, so Mexico, so I was living in a border town by Arizona, so, like, I think my house was about 6 miles from Arizona, so I was still close to the U.S. But then I got
like, Spanglish there?
Yeah, kind of, like, they expected to hear English there. Not, they didn't know it, but, you know, like, it wasn't, like,
enough to understand, like.
But like, my students, like, the kids didn't know any English, like, so, like, it's crazy, like, being in, like, when you're immersed in it like that, how fast you learn it, like, insane. Like, I actually learned it. But going back to like the different,
somewhere
it's
Spanish speaking, and
crazy.
it's really so bad.
But then I got moved to Mexico City for about, within those 3 years, for about, I think, 5 months. And the Spanish there is like, the slang was totally different. Like I would say things and they wouldn't, like sometimes they wouldn't understand me. So like even just from that, like,
yeah, I was about to ask, you ever say something and they just look at you like,
yeah, one time I swore in front of all those little kids, had no idea, and
what'd you say?
I don't really know. I just know it was bad because they all freaked out and
they were like, oh.
Yeah.
They were
So I have
probably
no
so
idea.
excited. If my teacher would have swore to me like by accident,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it would have made my day as a little kid. I've been so excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that makes sense though. Just like if you want to sit in Ohio and talk, and then you go to Louisiana,
yeah, exactly.
or Florida,
you don't really understand. Yeah, it's a totally different.
They
Yeah.
completely different lingos. In Boston, car keys and khakis are the same thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
They're not the same thing. But so let me ask you one of my favorite Dream Tour questions.
Okay.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
What would it be?
Mm-hmm.
The little me response, like childhood me would say to be in like any superpower.
You
Like,
can be
what
a
do you
super.
mean, like,
You can be like a superhero
like-
or pick a superpower. I don't care. This is just for fun, for conversation.
I always wanted to be invisible.
Invisible.
Yes.
Like Incredibles Invisigirl.
Yeah, just like be invisible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool. What would you do with it?
I don't know.
Like steal pizza?
Maybe.
I don't know, like why
Steal pizza. Okay, that's
my superpower is based around stealing pizza.
that, or I would say now would be to fly.
To
Is that
fly.
it? Yeah. So between those two.
Yeah, mine would definitely be
Oh, teleport, man.
teleport.
That would be cool.
But-
That might be it.
Here's my thing with teleporting, is would you get the joy of travel? Like I feel like the journey is the most is almost
That's
what
very
makes the trip.
interesting you say that.
Yeah.
Because is it a podcast or a book? Someone talks about that where like it's the journey, it's about that. Like
Mhm.
literally about the traveling. Like, the anticipation of like getting there would be
Mhm.
gone. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. No, there's this great video, or it's not a video, but Alan Watts, he
yeah.
gave this speech. I don't know if it was a speech, if it was recording, what it was, but there was a video on YouTube. They did a little animation to it, and he said people always talk about life like there's some destination, and that just makes no sense because like there's no destination to life. He said I like to think about life as a journey, as a dance, because it doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have an end. It's just enjoying going through it, and just like even on like driving to Florida, if you drove to Florida from Ohio or somewhere to Ohio that's like like 18 hours, 20 hours, it's not that fun. It sucks.
Yeah.
But when you get there, you feel so gratified that you get out of the car and your left leg's numb and and you're just like, oh, we're here. I feel like that's like I want to teleport for that reason. That's why I want to run at super speed, so I can get places super fast, but like I still get the journey.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping like that's just me, And then I could like run into the pizza place, take the pizza real quick, be out. They have no idea. When you see me, I was going too fast.
So that's what you want to do with your superpower. Steal pizza.
Yeah,
Okay.
steal pizza.
Okay.
If I could eat one food every day, it'd be pizza.
I don't think I would steal pizza, but
What if you could eat one food every day? What would it be?
I eat weird.
You eat weird, but
Yeah,
you don't have a
so-
favorite food, like something, alright, if you had to eat only one thing for like for dinner, we're not saying like the same for every meal, but for dinner every night you had to have the same meal for dinner, and you had no option but to pick one meal, and that was it. What would you pick?
Maybe tacos.
Tacos are no. I think tacos. I think tacos and pizza are like in this category of there's so much versatility to them. Like I've had a great shrimp taco, but I've also had a great chicken taco.
Pizza?
Yeah, pizza. No, I love me some Hawaiian pizza. There's like white sauce pizza. I'm a lover of pizza. I've been considering like possibly like doing like a pizza review type deal like in Akron, just trying every pizza place and giving my rating. I just started thinking about it this past week.
All right, Lucas, you can start that.
I just want to know about all the pizza. I don't know. I'm a big pizza fan.
Also, I know Lucas. Can I say?
Yeah. We work together.
So I'm not like a mean person. So you see me like making these stupid remarks. I know him. So.
Yeah, I definitely have talked about pizza and chicken nuggets at work a decent amount. Oh, I used to be obsessed with chicken nuggets. It was bad. I was eating them every day.
I don't eat any of that now. But...
Yeah, I want to get my diet in line, but also it's not gonna happen anytime soon.
I guess I can.
I'm 20 years old and I'm taking advantage of this next year or two before I get on myself.
Okay.
That's my theory as of now. You know, we're always growing. Right now, I want to pull through Wendy's and get the 4 for $4 here and there. I'll focus up later.
Okay.
So moving on to some more Dream Tour stuff. Who is there any person who has been an inspiration for you? Not necessarily just for the art, but just an inspiration that's helped you move forward, or a motivator, you know?
It's a good question. Honestly, my boyfriend, I owe him a lot of credit.
That's good.
Because he was also kind of the one who helped me get out of this weird that year rut when I wasn't doing it. And his mindset's very good. My mindset's kind of just like this all the time.
I think everyone's is somewhat that, but some people pretend better.
Yeah. I struggle though. So I'll be really low and then really high one day. But he's very I'm shivering because I'm cold.
Yeah, it's a little chilly down here.
But he's very level-headed. He's you know what, you have this, gift, this talent, you have the equipment, what are you doing? And I was yeah, that's a good point. So,
that's rational.
But very, even, financially, he's helped me a lot, with, the financial side of it, you know, what's really worth my time, you know, and all this stuff. And my mom's a huge one. So she, really, art as a whole was the one who kind of pushed me to do it, even in high school. So high school I was super depressed, and she was use that, so that's kind of also
wow. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, my mom too is I love my mom. She's always been a super cool inspiration to me, and we're actually on the same path right now of, you know, we're both getting into the part of our lives where we are kind of chasing something we're more passionate about, and not focused on something that's, you know, for comfort or stability. We're going after our passion. She's becoming a pelvic floor yoga instructor, which is a very specific type of yoga. It's a pretty
pelvic floor.
Yeah, it's very specific type of yoga that's supposed to be very good for you, and it's not taught all over the country. She had the lady she's learning from is from in California, and it's it's an interesting type of yoga. It's something a little different, yeah. Okay. If you ever ask her about it, she'll tell you all about it. And she's also, we're doing this thing she wants to do it for Holy Week. She's Christian or Catholic, and it's this liver cleanse. It's this, I want to say, she said it was an ancient Chinese way of you only eat these certain things and you really clean out your liver, and she's all about her health, and I'm actually gonna do it. I mean, I'm gonna do it, but just to do it with my mom and be a little healthy, and my liver probably needs the help.
Yeah.
Livers, apparently, from what I've been learning about my mom this week, is that your liver is important. Very, very important.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day. Briefly, yeah. We talked about liver, because I have really bad, skin issues. I have psoriasis really bad, and eczema, and suppose, the Chinese, what am I looking for? They say that it all starts with your liver. The psoriasis, it's linked to your. I'm pointing down here, but I don't even really know where my liver's at. So.
It's if your stomach's on your left, your liver should be on your right top of your abdomen. I think. I believe.
But yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating. So, and other things I've read too, some skin issues, or
Yeah, related to that.
Supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean. Apparently, if your liver is clogged up with toxins, it can even affect your mood. It can make you quick to anger and stuff like that. It's super interesting. And I'm really into the I like hearing about the more ancient herbal medicines. because I feel like I honestly trust that more than I do anything else. I've been watching a decent amount of videos, not a decent amount of videos, but a couple videos I've just seen where John D. Rockefeller, if you know who he is, was an oil billionaire, one of the richest people to ever live, like over 100 years ago.
I feel like I should know who that is. But
Yeah. There's a lot of buildings named after him, a lot of stuff like that. He's, you know, Rockefeller, Carnegie, they're these rich guys from the Industrial Revolution. And I like history, so like, you know, that's one of my things.
Okay.
But they he was, you know, he had a lot of power over the media at the time. He had a lot of money. He was influential, and he essentially found out that you could make medicines out of oil, essentially, and he owned all the oil, like almost all the oil in the world at that time, or in America at that time. And he was like, so he went to the media and changed it that these ancient medicines that have been around for thousands of years were now alternative medicine, and his medicine was mainstream medicine, and his medicine's only 150 years old. All the colleges in the country teach it now, but it's only from him running, like him becoming in charge of the media and in charge of the medical associations of America. Like, he took it all over, and now that, and we've built off of that. It's not the medicine he was putting out now. Obviously, we've made some changes and adjustments in the past years, but it just makes me trust the herbal stuff and ancient stuff more.
Yeah, I'm very big on stuff like that too. I don't know if were we working together when my face was like horrible?
Not like horrible. I just remember like you when I first started working there, you were talking about, like, you showed me, I think, a progress picture at the time.
Okay,
or something
maybe that
like
was like
Like,
maybe it was starting to get better.
You were you were just getting better, and like it has cleared up a lot.
Yeah, so I used to have eczema, just like blisters like all over my face, like really bad. Like I still have eczema, but like it's improved, and that's like just from diet. Like
just from that's awesome.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, because it was scary. Like I know like way too much about it because I've researched about it.
No, that's cool.
But,
let's learn about it.
So
teach me a little bit.
But I do think some of it's like my skin issues are trauma related. Because I think you can keep, like, I think like emotionally I hold a lot in. For my childhood, so I think that's also why like I haven't like released it yet or like dealt with it. So I'm learning to deal with it. But
we're all trying.
I think that's also why like my skin's so bad. But I had eczema like for years since I was in middle school, and I always I got like that, like just the doctor would give me like steroids, like topical steroids to put on. Turns out you weren't supposed to use them every day. I was never told that, so since I was 12, I used like the steroid cream every single day because my eczema was always there. And your body basically, when you stop using it, goes into shock. So like also like those blisters was like withdrawal from the drugs that I was like applying on my skin every day. Yeah. So it was this whole like I had to like slowly like get off of it, and like on top of like diet, finding the right like the foods will heal you, you know, like, so like certain foods will help with that. I don't know, it's fascinating, and like supplements and stuff. But
was it hard at first to like get off of a American diet? American diets are great. Like,
yeah, it was at first like, so I found this book online, like it's called The Eczema Detox, and because I was like, you know what, like I went to the doctor, my steroid cream actually stopped working, so what, I would have been on it for, I'm 24 now, 12 years, finally stopped working. So I went to the doctor, and I was like, hey, and he's like, oh my gosh, you're using that every day, and I was like, yeah, and he goes, yeah, don't use that, like, it's steroids, like, on your, like, because it was all over my, like on my eyelids. I actually had signs of glaucoma, and it doesn't, like, the eye doctor was so thrown off. He's like, does it run in your family? I'm like, no, like, but if you look it up, like, it actually can cause that.
oh my god.
So yeah, so then that was like a wake up call, but I went to the doctor, and he was like, yeah, don't, like, get off of it. Gave me a prescription that I could not afford, that didn't have steroids in it. I'm like, okay, there has to be some other way, or like something. And so I like found this book, ordered it. Like, you have to start off like really strict, like nothing. Like I was eating like literally just like potatoes, like beans, just like very like plain stuff, like no
starchy,
like spices.
yes.
Yeah. I like saw the list of like stuff I could buy and cried. Like I went to the grocery store, cried because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna starve. I obviously didn't starve, but it was fun because like I learned how to like actually cook with like
different
just, like,
ingredients.
yeah.
Wait, so where did you get this list again? Just your doctor
the
or
book,
like a different
the book. So that
Okay.
excellent book I found online, she like does a whole like you do like a detox for like a month and then you like introduce foods back. So it's kind of like elimination diet. I don't know if you know anything about like that. So like see what foods trigger.
Yeah, almost like, I mean, not like it's anything similar, but like Atkins is like that. When you do Atkins, you eliminate everything. You start with a few things and then you introduce like more things as you go on. Yeah.
So it was fascinating because you would eat stuff and then it would like I would eat certain things and my eczema would flare up. So like my body just couldn't handle some things like some healthy things like I can't, like beets will make me really sick and make my eczema flare up, which also goes back to the liver because beets detoxify your liver.
Yeah.
So I think like I'm worried about my liver because
whichever side it's on.
I don't know, I feel like there's something there too, but so yeah, that was like a whole like I was on it for like I'm not really on that diet anymore, but like for a full year, and I can eat like a lot more like I like eat normal foods now.
Well, like essentially like dieting. This is just my personal opinion. I don't have any like. This isn't me like stating some facts here, but I think dieting does nothing. It's essentially pointless because as soon as you stop the diet and you go back to eating McDonald's, it's not.
Or you just don't eat McDonald's.
Yeah, but having a somewhat healthy diet is the way to like, if you want to like obviously go ahead, have yourself a piece of cake, have some pizza every once in a while.
There is a balance. That's what I figured out too, because
you crave probably.
I did. Well, the thing is I was so strict on it, like there was no bounce, so like really strict, and then like if I would like went off, like I would obsess over it, like an unhealthy amount, like okay I can only eat this, and obsess, and then that was like very unhealthy. So then when I started eating more like normal foods, and then I would cheat, like do like eat a like what's something that doesn't like sugar, because I wasn't even having like processed sugar or anything. So if I would eat something like processed sugar, I would beat myself up, and I'm like, okay, like that's not normal, like I can have like there's a balance, like you know what I mean, like so. Yeah, but
yeah, I think everything in life's about balance to some extent. I have been saying that for like all of my episodes, and then last week, tomorrow's or Sunday's episode from When We're Talking, they said he was like, oh yeah, I'm all about that yin yang, and I was like, oh my gosh, I could have been saying that the whole time, and I just like completely went over my head, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's something I've like known about, and I actually like it actually helps me a lot in my life thinking about balance, because like that's how I keep my head on, is when something is going bad, like I wrecked my car and totaled my car, I'm like, I'm not going to freak out.
You came to work that day.
Yeah.
And you were totally fine.
Yeah, I just was
I would have been a mess. I've been crying and my life's over. Like.
Yeah, I was just like, is this going to matter? Yeah. Is this going to matter a month from now?
But you're very good at that. Like, I wish, like, my mindset is
in
not
the moment,
there yet.
In the moment, I'm not. I take my moment and I flip out, I'm just like anyone else. But, like, when I was younger, when I was in middle school and young, like I flipped out fast and I was angry, like at the world for no reason. I was just angry, and so that taught me being angry doesn't get you any friends and it's not fun. So it taught me over my years, it took me into college almost to really understand a little bit, and I'm still learning every day because I'm very young. Got a lot of life ahead of me to learn stuff, but that step back is essential. Taking a step back and thinking about, will this matter tomorrow? Will this matter next week? Is this the end of my life?
Yeah.
No. Yes, you still have to take problems seriously. Like, yes, I have to deal with the insurance agent and all that fun stuff, but no, I am not going to not have a good rest of my week. I'm not gonna let one bad moment seep into my week. You know,
Yeah.
I've let bad moments ruin my days, but I'm not gonna let it ruin 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to, at least. You know, I can't say, you know, knock on wood, but I'm gonna try my best.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's super important to me, is taking a step back. I actually saw a cool TikTok about that. It was like, this is a lock on a door, and then she zoomed back and goes, this is a door. She says, she said, this is a lock, and then she zoomed back. She said, this is a door. She said, wow, when I was all the way up close, you didn't know what the rest of this was because you were too close to the problem. Like, she said it better and more. You know, I was just trying to briefly phrase it without, you know, I don't know the word for word. But speaking of TikTok, you've just started making TikToks for your pottery, right?
Yeah, kind of.
I know you made one at least.
Yes.
It was like
It
we
was
just talked about it like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I just bought like a tripod for my phone. I was like, I should start recording myself. Like, it's not really like.
But like,
it's more.
People love, like, I'm a big fan of, like, you know, how it's made.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So like, I love to. If I see a TikTok, it's 1 minute long of someone making something cool, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna give it a like, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone who's interested, you know, her TikTok will be in the bio of the YouTube video, in the description of the Spotify. So, you know, anyone who's into the how it's made, go ahead and give her a follow. And what is it, Anna?
So my TikToks, I think I need to change that.
I think it's Anna Sage,
yeah,
but
it
it's
is,
hard.
but
It was hard to
like
find.
3 E's or something because like the whatever. So I think I'm gonna change it to like my Instagram.
To Thankful Sage. Yeah.
To make it easier.
Yeah, it'd make it a little easier. That's one of my problems with social media was like trying to get all my social medias to have the same name. I actually deleted Twitter, and I want to get it back because, you know, I deleted it because all that I saw was political arguing and negativity, and I was like, I can't handle this. So then I actually removed my account from Twitter. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back into Twitter, make a new account, follow some of the positive people that I know, and try and build my social media from a positive standpoint from the beginning.
You should, yeah.
Because if you follow positive people, you're not going to see negative stuff.
I know, social media is tricky. I deleted it. Like, I don't even have my personal one anymore just because I honestly don't even, like TikTok. Like,
I like TikTok.
I do, but I don't at the same time. Like, it's just like...
If
I
watch
notice
for too
it,
long, if you watch for too long, people get angry.
I know. And then
it's like TikTok knows.
Like, my, like, I wouldn't say mental state is easily influenced, but comparison. So I do a lot of comparing, like bad.
You can be empathetic, you know, like, too.
So, so then I find myself doing that, and I'm like, okay, like, it's time to take a break. Like, I'm trying to catch myself, like, before I go down this, like, mental, like, rabbit hole, like, you know, like...
I can catch myself, you know, I see someone saying something about an issue, and, like, you know, if I see one video about it, I'm like, well, it's good they're inspired about their issue. But, you know, I see 5 videos about some issue, and I'm like, who is screwing these people over? I am angry about this now. You know, it'll work me up.
Yeah.
But that's why I try and use social media, but I try and keep a mind on it. So I get sucked into it, though, because I'm, like... I get sucked into social media. It's a weakness of mine. Yeah.
But it's weird for me because I've never been one to like post like all the stuff, you know, like or like updates or like even like stories of myself talking. So like it's really weird to like do that now because I'm not like that. So it's just like I don't know.
Yeah. it was definitely Snapchat. I've always been a Snapchat poster, but you know, I've got a ton of people. I think my Snapchat's almost as big as my Instagram. So. Yeah, I've got like 1,000 people on Snapchat, but like,
how? Like what?
I went to college, wrote my name on some boards, you know, big campus. Just I give out my Snapchat anywhere.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know if it's on. I think it's more like 800, but like it's close to it. It's up there for a Snapchat, and I don't even like, you know, some people. It's like I don't even know who some people are, but most of the people I do like remember, like, you know, this person I met at college, this person I met in high school, this person I met out doing some networking event or whatever. But Snapchat, I've always been a big poster, but on Instagram, from when I made my Instagram till when I graduated high school, which was 6 years, I had 10 posts. So in 6 years, I posted 10 times or 12 times, something like that, maybe 11. And you know, I've got 100 posts right now, and
Mm-hmm.
I've only been out of high school 3 years. And I mean, until I started Dream Tour in January of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
I had like 16 posts. So I've just been, it was a weird feeling. It's like, and you know, people unfollow you and you're like, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing me. And if you don't want to support that, I'm not going to be mad at you. You know, some people, I understand, you know, if you don't want to see this on your feed, go ahead. But if you do, go ahead and follow. I don't care.
Yeah. I know that's hard for me too, because I've, like even had, which is really weird, like, really like big, like, well, really it's only one person, some really big like ceramic artist.
Mm-hmm.
She actually blocked me. So
we talked about this.
I was distraught.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, and that like affected me, because I'm like, what, like I took it so personal. I'm like, what, but then later I reflect on it, and I mean, I guess that's a compliment if she has like 100-something thousand followers and I got blocked. Like, like I don't know. Like, it was just like, but I was so upset. I'm like, I didn't do anything. Like, it's just weird. Like not to take it personal, because it doesn't even, you know what I mean?
would take it personal
matter.
as a personal compliment. You know, that's a compliment for
I guess,
sure.
but yeah.
Because
it's weird. Yeah.
It is weird. Some people don't like to see other people do well, and I think that's just insecurity being projected. And I can't blame anyone for projecting their insecurity, because I've done it at times. Everyone does. And it's this weird place to try and not be upset about people for being upset at you. And, you know, sometimes you fail. Sometimes you're like, it really gets you down. Sometimes you really want to get mad at someone. But it's a weird feeling. It's definitely weird maturing. Because I was not like this, you know, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So like, when you just like up and left America and just went somewhere else.
Yep.
What made you do that? You know, you just said you did it, but you didn't tell us what made you do it.
Honestly, there's kind of like two factors to it. Really, I wanted to, like, I've always just wanted to like go places. So like kind of like to what like sparked that. In high school I went on a week mission trip. And that was literally what like flipped my life. So like kind of like spiritually, and then also like a different side of like, oh my gosh, there's so much out there to see in the world, you know, like like what, like, you know what I mean, like I had no idea. Like I did, but like it's so different when like that very first like international trip is like, oh my gosh, like especially like in high school when you're that young, I think. And this is before too like influencers and all that stuff. When you see pictures of it, you know, it was kind of just like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing in Ohio? You know what I mean? Even though I'm still here, but I ended up back here. Hopefully not
it's
long
not a
though.
bad place,
so
it's not.
So that's kind of what, just like, I don't know. Also, everyone like when they graduated were like, it was always like college, like, and I felt like that. I mean, yeah, for like, it just wasn't in my path, I don't think, at that time. Not the saying that I'll never go. I mean, I started it, but then like.
Same here. I started, but I'm
like
done.
Later on though. But I just felt like at 18 I had no idea what I wanted to even do, let alone like I'm not gonna pick a degree. You know what I mean? Like I had
how are you gonna pick what you're gonna do?
I
for
think
the
that's
next
way
20
too
years
young.
At 18 years old.
Like I feel like 18 is way too young to like pick a degree unless you're like absolutely certain. Like I want to be a nurse, you know, like stuff like that. Like I think that's totally fine. But I couldn't fathom going in that debt and not knowing, you know, like being so unsure, and also like, I don't know, everyone says like, oh, you can travel like after school, but the reality is no one really, you have like, you get a degree, then you have a job, and then you get a family. Like I always felt like I should have done it before. Like my mom was very big. Like I am very thankful that my mom was very supportive of like go do it, like
live your life.
Because she always said like her mom never like, she wasn't raised that way, so like her mom never really like pushed it. Like she was like, you gotta go to school, you know what I mean? Like you gotta like and I also think that's a generation thing. I think that was a thing back
that's
like
how
that generation.
that's how my parents were. My parents were like, you should be going to school. But then when I decided to stop going to school, I actually had this sit down meeting with my parents, and like I gave, like, I want to do something I want to do. I don't know what I want to do with this school thing, but I know that I do want to do a podcast and save up money and start a business and build my network and do stuff like that. And like after we had that conversation, they kind of have changed their view on it.
Yeah. I also think that's like a parent thing. Like, now, not to say, like, when I moved back home, there was pressure, like a little bit of pressure to go to school, because my mom, I don't know, she always, like, I think she never ended up getting a degree. So, like, when my parents got divorced, she had nothing to fall back on, basically. So she was raising 4 kids and didn't have a degree, and couldn't get like, she was working 4 jobs. And I think that's why she always, like, kind of wanted to push it. So, like,
no,
like, she never got it. Like, she didn't want me to end up like that, I guess. Like, but I feel like you don't, like, I don't know.
There's this weird thing about parents, There's this weird thing about parents, and especially when you're a kid, you don't realize that your parent doesn't know everything. Like, when you're a kid, you think, shoot, they taught you how to talk and walk and do the basics, You think they know everything coming up, and there's a point in your life where you have to realize it, or else you're never going to, like, you're going to have struggle in your relationship with your parents. You have to realize that, like, they know as much as you do. Like, they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They have more experience than you. Ask them about that experience. Learn from their experiences, because they're just trying to teach you from their experience. They're not trying. They're not trying to push you. They're thinking what's best.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Like, that pressure, like, coming back. I think, like, that's totally what it was. But as of right now, I feel like that, this is working out for me. So, I mean, school's always going to be there, like.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere.
Always. Like, I can always decide to go. So that's kind of why I stopped doing, like, the classes now. Because it's like, okay, like, I can either put all that money in the school where I'm still unsure, if that's what I want to do, or I can put the energy in something that I love doing, and that's actually working right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's
so, like, I'm going to
well for you.
Take that and just go with it as long as it lasts, and, like, who knows? Like, I mean, it could die down. Like,
and who knows what's next? You never know if you're going to be onto something after this, you know? See, I've this week I've been thinking a lot about this as, like, a new thing that I don't know what to call them, but I think about these repetitive I have repetitive thoughts, and the one I've been thinking about this week is, I'm tired of having a plan. I think a plan, like, why would you have a plan? It doesn't make any, like, I think I have an idea. I'm done with plans, because plans don't go as planned. But I have an idea, and I do what I do. So that's how I've been thinking about where I'm going with all the different things that I'm doing right now. I'm involved in a lot of different random things right now, and they're all kind of coming together in this way, and I don't know where they're going to go, what's going to happen. So I've got an idea of what I want, and I'm just going to do what I do and see where it goes. I'm tired of writing out plans that I don't know what's going to happen, Have you always been one to have a plan, or? Yeah, right behind you here is a plan for a business that I wrote. There's
Interesting.
I've got a,
okay.
This is like there was a business. Funding an app is very expensive, and you need some influence, and you need some connections, and if that happens in my life, it happens in my life. I always have that piece of paper, a lot of I've got a little folder of all my business school stuff that I did on it, but you have plans. Yeah. See, I never have had plans, but also that's kind of bad. I had to but you have to balance it out, because I don't plan it. I have an idea, not a plan. Okay. I'm just using terminology, Because I am, like, on the opposite end, and I kind of just go with it too much, but then, like, that's kind of bad, because then... Yeah, I had to de-learn like following a plan. Following a plan step by step by step. When something goes wrong, you're so hurt about it. When Gary Vaynerchuk, one of my favorite people on social media, he's actually he's a marketer, he's a motivational speaker, super good follow on Instagram if you're into following some guy who's gonna yell at you about being happy, But he says, I think it was him. It was in a podcast, and he was talking about, like, you can't be, like, too married to your plans or your ideas. Because if you are too devoted, you're going to drive your own plan into the ground. But if you love your idea, but you're open to change, like, accepting change is an essential life skill. Because I like to say the only constant in life is change. So...
That's funny. I was reflecting on that today because kind of going back to, like, what we were, like, Mexico, like, living down there. I was dead set on that. That's what I was going to do for the rest of my life. So when that got taken away from me, because I, like, still wanted to be there, but, like, I couldn't. But, like, reflecting on that today, like, the whole change thing, like, I don't know, it's really, you can't really, everything change, like,
life is weird.
Everything
it's
ends,
so weird.
everything changes, like, you just have to go with it. Like, it's not, like...
It's not what you thought it was going to be.
No, not
it
at
never
all.
is.
Not at all.
Whatever. Oh, my gosh. It's... The world is a crazy place, and I'm just trying to have a good time. So, we're... This has been really fun, actually. This has been a super fun podcast so far. And, I've got a couple more things.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So we've talked, like, your Instagram, your TikTok. Is there anywhere else that, like, you do anything that people should check you out, like a little website or something?
I have a website, but that's, like,
It's on your Instagram.
On my Instagram, yeah, the link, yeah.
Okay.
But pretty much just Instagram, like, I have Facebook, but I need to post on it more. Like, I feel like I need to do more. I hate posting, but...
Oh,
people can sign up.
You're doing a newsletter now?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to sign up.
I have a...
See when the drops are.
Subscribe. And I do, like, previews of, like, what gets dropped and stuff.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing more TikToks of, like, how it's made. Because that one, I watched that first one. I was like, this is super cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So, we're gonna end up here, I have one more dream tour question.
Okay.
What's your dream?
Oh my gosh.
You know, it doesn't have to be for, like, your whole life. It could be for right now, for this idea.
For this?
For this. Whatever you want to answer. You know? What's your dream?
See, Lucas, this is what I,
You want that?
struggle with. Yeah, I don't think that far
not being put
ahead.
on the spot.
This is gonna sound cliche. I'm gonna get to that.
No,
but,
okay.
like, what I'm doing right now is, like, okay, real quick. I'm gonna bunny trail. Did we talk about this? Like, okay. Where I wanted to be, like,
yes.
6 months ago. So, like, thinking, like, selling out has been my dream since I started this, and it's happening. Like, every time it happens, I cry, because, like, that has been my dream. Like,
that's awesome.
I would love to have a shop, like, someday, like, you know,
that's
like,
awesome.
my own, like, I guess, like, and even, like, teaching it. Like, I would love to do, like, classes and stuff, but, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of living my dream right now, but...
That's awesome.
I guess I need, like, a new, like, goal, I guess, but...
Just keep having fun with it.
Yeah,
Are you having fun with it?
Yes, yeah.
If you can say that you're living your dream right now, that's amazing. That's something that, like, that's the message that, like, that I do this show for two reasons. I do this show because I want to show people that living your dream is something that people are doing everywhere, all around you, even in the city of Akron, Ohio, that, you know, a lot of people from Akron, you know, you meet people and they're like, you know, they don't think that there's people doing it all around, and there is. There's people all around this city living their dreams. And the other reason is I just want to talk to people and learn some stuff. So I think we did both of those things today. I think we both learned a little bit more about each other, even though we knew each other decently well from work for the past over a year now. But so thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And to everyone out there who watched and everyone out there who listened, thank you. Keep dreaming, you know. Just stay positive. Try and take that step back. Just do your best. There's nothing else you can do. And keep working towards whatever you want to every day. Just do a little thing every day. That's it. And like and subscribe. And follow on Spotify and Apple Music. Thank you, guys.